Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including Tesla's latest incentive to buy right now, Tesla fleet customers dropping out, the latest Model Y competitor, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, electric vehicle fleets have become extremely popular thanks to reduced maintenance cost, gasoline savings, and more. We saw this come to fruition in a big way with Tesla after Hertz signed a deal to buy 100,000 Teslas. This expanded even further as they added more Model Ys, but recently we saw them eliminating a large number of Teslas from their fleet. They have slowed their purchasing and have been selling Teslas off, in large part due to the loss in value they saw as new Tesla prices dropped. They have slowed things here and are now putting their deal to buy 65,000 Polestar vehicles on hold. Long term, they still say, quote, "We're committed to the strategy. It will take more time to execute it." This could still turn around in time, but for the time being, this is a huge Tesla customer that is no longer planning to buy vehicles, at least in the numbers we thought. At the end of last year, we heard similar news from Sixt. They are eliminating Teslas from their fleets and say it is due to reduced residual value and high repair costs. Now, SAP, a German software company, has announced that they will no longer be sourcing company cars from Tesla. They say it's due to unpunctual deliveries and price fluctuations. Quote, "The list prices fluctuate more at Tesla than at other manufacturers, which makes planning more difficult and poses a higher risk for us. From Tesla's perspective, this is understandable, but it causes problems for us." Interestingly, many of these companies are continuing to work with other EV companies, but are not happy with how things have gone with Tesla specifically. On the consumer side, it is disappointing to make the decision to buy a Tesla, only to see them drop prices by thousands of dollars a few weeks later, but it seems that fleet customers are even more frustrated since they see the results of this at scale. When you are buying 100,000 vehicles and Tesla drops their price by as much as $15,000 overnight, that is a huge hit to your business and the normal plan to sell these vehicles off in the future. It's part of the reason we are seeing so many Hertz Teslas going for low cost right now. This will be interesting to see develop. Overall, it seems Teslas would make the best EV rentals, especially in the US, but 3 different fleet customers are no longer willing to accept how much things change with pricing. Going forward as well, Tesla's Supercharger network in the US will be open to these other EVs, so rental companies could find that other EVs are the best option. Next up today, some very big news for customers looking to buy a Tesla soon. One of the biggest things holding customers back from upgrading their Tesla to a new one is that they already purchased an expensive software package that they don't want to give up. Mainly this comes in the form of full self-driving, with customers spending as much as $15,000 for that package that still has yet to deliver full self-driving. Here, this package sticks with the car for its life, and when trading in or selling, this package rarely gets valued. In an ideal world, this package should stay with the user in the same way you can upgrade computers or phones and keep all of your apps. But Tesla doesn't do that, aside from particular times. Right now is one of those times. In addition to FSD, another incentive some customers have on older cars is free lifetime supercharging. When calculated over your life, that saves a lot, so most customers don't want to upgrade their older Model S or X if they have this, even if they want a new car. In turn, not being able to transfer either of these can hurt Tesla's sales. That's why for now until March 31st, Tesla is once again offering a transfer of each of these. Back in 2023, Tesla offered the FSD transfer, but said clearly that this was a one-time thing. Now it has at least become a two-time thing. Tesla owners with the FSD package and or free supercharging assigned to their vehicles can trade in their vehicles with Tesla for a new one and transfer the features. Alternatively, customers can sign agreements to give up those features on their existing vehicles and apply them to a new order. This is available for all Tesla vehicles besides the Cybertruck, even the refreshed Model 3. For customers who have wanted to upgrade but have resisted due to FSD and free supercharging, this is a great incentive to buy now. I'd say it's the perfect scenario if you're buying a Model 3, S, or X, but for the Model Y right now, it could be a bit of a different story. Now that everyone sees the new Model 3 in the US, it is likely creating a bit of an Osborne effect for the Model Y refresh. Many customers are waiting to upgrade to the new Model Y, but now Tesla is creating an incentive to keep some customers buying even with a refresh around the corner. This ending on March 31st clearly signals a demand lever that they are pulling for this quarter. On the other side of things, it's a bit frustrating to see them offer this again after clearly stating it was a one-time thing in 2023. Maybe they truly thought it would be and found it successful, but still there are likely some customers who would have waited until now to transfer FSD or supercharging. Maybe they wanted the new Model 3 as well, but figured it's a one-time thing, so I better buy now. And that very well could happen again here. The Model Y refresh is around the corner, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla attempts to launch that car simultaneously in the US and China, and Berlin for that matter. With the Model Y being so popular, the world's best-selling car of any type, it creates a challenging scenario when people see the next version fully reviewed, but are only able to buy the current one. The Juniper refresh is supposedly slated for later this year, so it's a question of how soon it will come. This latest FSD and supercharging transfer is available for any Tesla, so it's a general incentive, but it could also function as a sales tactic to get customers to buy the Model Y right on the cusp of its refresh. What do you think though? Is this transfer something that you want to take part of, and is it worth buying now to ensure it? Or is it possible that Tesla does this again in a year and you can transfer these things to the refreshed Model Y? Leave a comment below to let me know your thoughts. Speaking of the Model Y, we may soon see another great competitor to this car. Rivian has just officially announced that the leaked March 7th unveil for the R2 is true. They posted on X saying, "This is it, get ready to meet R2 on March 7th. The R2 is their more affordable platform, and the sketches and leaks of this car make it out to be a pretty enticing small SUV shape. It has many distinct Rivian features, but comes in a smaller package and is rumored to start around $40,000. That's about a month away, and there we should see Rivian announce when this will actually come to market. I can't wait to see what it brings, but it should have access to Tesla's Supercharger network at launch, which makes it a much better competitor to the Model Y. Next up today, Tesla has made a few price adjustments, lowering and raising prices on their most popular trims in different markets. First, the Model Y has received some big price cuts in Canada that could unlock even further savings for many customers. For clarity, all of the prices that I will be listing for the Model Y here will be in Canadian dollars. Tesla has lowered the price of the Model Y's two base trims, the rear-wheel drive and long-range versions, by $4,000 each. The rear-wheel drive version now starts at $53,990, and the long-range all-wheel drive starts at $63,990. These are all new lows for this vehicle in that country, which are also eligible for a $5,000 federal rebate. That brings the starting price down to just $49,000 for the rear-wheel drive and $59,000 for the long range. Many of Canada's provinces offer generous rebates as well, with Quebec's being the most substantial. Their residents can take an additional $7,000 off the price of their already discounted Model Y, bringing the base price down to $42,000. In addition, this price cut has also brought the long-range Model Y down below the $65,000 threshold for eligibility in Quebec. For the first time, customers in that province will be able to take that additional $7,000 off that trim, bringing it down to a starting price of $52,000. The long-range Model Y has been a very popular choice in Canada since the added battery helps to offset range loss in their cold climate. This added incentive should do a lot to help boost sales of that already popular vehicle. If you live in Quebec, you have the opportunity to get an exceptional car at an increasingly affordable price. Even if you live elsewhere in Canada, these price reductions are still a great way to get this car for an even lower price. Over in the US though, for the brand new Model 3, Tesla has already raised the price. When first introduced last month, Tesla kept pricing the same for the Model 3 and eliminated the performance trim. That put pricing at $38,990 and $45,990 for each trim respectively. Now, the long-range model has increased by $1,000, starting at $47,000. At this point in time, neither trim qualifies for the tax incentive from the federal government, so that is the price for anyone buying. When Tesla changes prices, it directly reflects demand. If they drop prices, they need more orders. If they raise them, then they have plenty and are catching up on demand. So it looks like things are going really well, specifically for the long-range Model 3 refresh, at least for Tesla's current manufacturing capacity. I'll actually be picking up a rear-wheel drive Model 3 on Wednesday, and I'm excited to review that on this channel, so be on the lookout for videos about that. It seems to be a great improvement over the Model 3 Tesla sold for years, and pricing is starting to reflect its popularity. Next up today, Tesla has issued a software recall on their vehicles, and this time it's over something kind of ridiculous. You might have gotten a message lately from a friend or family member with a headline like this: Tesla recalls millions of vehicles over latest safety flaw. Sure, that sounds really alarming at first, but the truth is certainly a lot less dramatic. This is another fix that is being issued via an over-the-air software update, and it's over something really minor: font sizes. Yes, font sizes. NHTSA issued a recall on all Tesla vehicles because of the font size on their warning light indicators. The recall reads, a visual warning indicator whose letter font size is smaller than 3.2 millimeters, eighth of an inch, as prescribed, could reduce the driver's detection of it when illuminated, increasing the risk of a crash. Now, I won't argue about Tesla needing to comply to make small tweaks like this. It certainly seems a bit excessive and nitpicky on the surface, but small safety improvements like this add up, and it needs to match up to what the code is. The real issue is still calling this a recall. Recalls have a lingering connotation of being for major issues that require immediate and necessary service. So many of Tesla's recent recalls have just required small software patches to bring the car back into compliance. Again, I won't dispute whether these fixes needed to happen, but calling them recalls is taking a lot of the bite out of that word. If there ever was something major, then who's to say customers would even take that seriously at this point? For smaller issues like this, I think it would be smart for NHTSA to create some kind of secondary classification of simple software-related fixes. That way we can preserve recalls for big problems that deserve that name and deserve that kind of fear because you need to go get your car fixed for a big issue. Next up today, Tesla has just announced a hardware upgrade for the Model Y coming out of China, which points to some exciting stuff coming very soon. Tesla has just announced that all new Model Ys sold in China will now come standard with their FSD hardware 4.0. This hardware consists of a series of improved cameras, sensors, and a computer that facilitate improved full self-driving. That software is not currently available in China, although media there has reported that Tesla is trying to launch it very soon. The addition of these cameras certainly signals that the company is near launching the service in China, because otherwise most of the benefits that come from hardware 4.0 are pretty inaccessible. Hardware 4.0 has already rolled out in Teslas in other markets. At the time of its initial rollout, it sparked some controversy, as the FSD beta was actually not available on 4.0 equipped cars. The company clarified that despite its improved systems, it would lag behind older hardware 3.0 in features for some time, but at this point it mostly seems to have caught up. This move also comes as Tesla faces greater competition from local Chinese automakers. Last quarter, Tesla was outsold for the first time in the EV market by BYD, and are facing increased competition from a number of other upstarts and legacy automakers there. In addition, many of those companies are actively working on multiple ways to beat Tesla, whether it be on price or through their rapidly developing tech, batteries, or independently developed self-driving. Tesla is having to work hard here to stay competitive. They recently made some pretty big price cuts in China and around the world in response to the increasing roster of cheap electric cars. In addition, Tesla just announced the arrival of their Quicksilver color to the Chinese Model Y. Previously, Tesla said that this color would only be coming out of Giga Berlin, but we knew it was only a matter of time before it arrived elsewhere. Recently, they have introduced a number of colors in all markets, and I hope that soon enough we can see this color coming out of Giga Texas. All 4 of Tesla's vehicles in the US have replaced their previous red and gray colors with Stealth Gray and Ultra Red. Quicksilver is special though, and stands out from all of their other colors. For now, in China, it is an added option that may make this car just a bit more appealing to some customers, but I also hope it's a sign of this coming to other markets in the near future. While Tesla may be running into some steeper competition around the globe, they are still an EV juggernaut. They just recently announced that Giga Berlin reached a new milestone of manufacturing 6,000 Model Ys per week. That car is clearly doing well and continuing to sell well. The Berlin factory serves a lot of Europe, so it's great to see them continuing to scale up. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. Ford has announced that they will soon be providing free NACS adapters to Mustang Mach-E and F-150 Lightning owners. This piece of hardware will officially give them access to the Tesla Supercharging network. Ford was the first automaker to announce that they would be partnering with Tesla to implement their NACS charging port, and that has since caused a cascade of other automakers joining the standard. The port will be installed on all Ford vehicles starting in 2025, but until then, the company announced that they would be offering CCS to NACS adapters to allow access to the Supercharger network. Ford CEO Jim Farley just recently announced that Ford is going to be rolling out those adapters very soon, and the best part is, they're going to be free. He adds in his post on X that, quote, "This is our way of saying thank you. We want to make charging more convenient for our Ford EV owners, so we're excited to add Tesla chargers and will continue growing our Blue Oval charge network. Starting sometime in the spring, eligible owners will be able to reserve their adapters, but we're not exactly sure when they will be delivered. It's also unclear who is an eligible owner, but it seems likely it should include anyone driving a Ford EV at this point. This is a really positive step for the company and should do a lot to promote their electric cars. Road trip charging and range anxiety are still some of the biggest hindrances to EV adoption, and the Supercharger network has been a huge motivator for people buying a Tesla. Ironically, this move that makes owning a Ford EV more appealing comes around the same time that Ford has announced that they are scaling back their EV production. With this change, they could see that they need to shift back. While Ford is putting their EV ambitions on hold, other companies are leaning further into their technology, which will give them an edge as EVs continue to increase their market share. Either way, offering these free NACS adapters is a very good gesture that signals Ford's commitment to their EV customers and this new technology. Hopefully this is a sign that Ford is going to stick with their EVs and that we see some sort of backtracking on their abandonment of their electric goals. After a challenging year for a Swedish automaker, Polestar has announced that they will be laying off 450 jobs around the world. This equates to losing 15% of their total workforce. While EV demand across the world has grown, a number of other economic factors have led to low sales for some of the world's EV makers, including Polestar. In response, they have lowered delivery expectations for the year, altered their business plan, and are aiming to reduce financial dependence on owners Volvo and Geely. Polestar has a ways to go before they reach profitability. Their upcoming Polestar 4 will be a bit of a course correction, coming in at around $60,000, but that does still place them significantly higher than their primary competitor, the Model Y. I was definitely impressed by my time with the Polestar 2, but its price point is a tough pill to swallow when compared to their direct Tesla competitors. Hopefully the company is able to alter their tactics in a way that doesn't reduce their overall quality, while still making them more affordable to customers. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see the way Tesla could disappoint many customers in the near future, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.